Maybe this is Mama's whip. You like it?
Hello ESCA friends. In this episode, we're going to talk about the storyline of a film titled Shadow Force. Shadow Force tells the story of a pair of elite secret agents, Kyrah, played by Kerry Washington, and Isaac, played by Omar C., who break the rules of their organization by falling in love and having a child. As a result, they are expelled and become targets hunted by their former colleagues in Shadow Force, the very organization they once worked for. After leaving, they go into hiding to protect themselves and their child from being pursued by Shadow Force, which does not tolerate members leaving the group. And without further ado, here is the storyline of the movie. Set in Florida, we meet Kyrah, a woman who is part of a secret organization operating under the control of the CIA called Shadow Force. In short, Kyrah chooses to leave the Special Forces because she no longer wants to be involved in criminal activities. This decision causes her to be labeled a traitor, making her the primary target of the Special Forces and even hired assassins. Elsewhere, we are introduced to Isaac, another member of Shadow Force, who is enjoying time with his son, Kai. Kai is the son of Kyrah and Isaac, but ever since he was a child, Kyrah left him to ensure the safety of both Kai and Isaac. Isaac suffers from hearing loss due to an explosion and relies on a hearing aid. While taking a bath, Kai is shocked to see his father's body covered in scars and asks who caused them. Isaac explains that the scars came from battles against criminals. The next day, a shark took Kai to the bank to withdraw some funds as their daily necessities were running low. Upon arriving at the bank, the shark nearly got into a conflict when a car cut him off and took his parking spot. However, he held himself back, not wanting Kai to see him lose his temper.
That's a disclosure.
Disclosure fee, sir.
Disclosure fee?
It's a small charge to the bank.
Not long after they entered, the bank was raided by heavily armed robbers, creating a tense and terrifying situation. Ishak grew anxious for Kai's safety and pleaded for the robbers not to touch his son, but instead, one of them pointed a gun at Kai's head. With no other choice, Ishak removed his hearing aid and told Kai to close his eyes and cover his ears. He swiftly took down the robbers, successfully foiling the heist. Realizing his actions were captured by the security cameras, a shark quickly left the bank and headed to a hideout before the enemy could track him down. Meanwhile, we are introduced to Jack, the former head of the CIA and the mastermind behind the formation of Shadow Force. Now, Jack is under investigation as his illegal activities have started to attract media attention. To cover up his crimes, he works as the head of security for a member of the G7 nations. It is revealed that Jack has been exploiting Shadow Force for his personal gain and has committed numerous criminal acts. Jack received a report from his assistant, Patrick, that Kyrah had just killed another high-ranking CIA official, and a shark had been spotted through bank security footage.
Whiskey. Aurora. Whiskey. Double.
Say that.
Furious, Jack ordered the Shadow Force to hunt down Kyrah and Ishak. Upon learning that Kyrah and Ishak had a child, he immediately instructed Patrick to assemble a team to plan their capture.
All those years ago, we pursed the band back together. The same group over and sober burnt.
On the other hand, Kyrah receives the video footage of a shark's actions at the bank and is shocked to see that Kai was also captured on camera, putting him in danger. Elsewhere, two CIA agents, Marvella and Avery, are assigned to track down Jack and bring him to justice. They begin surveilling Jack's men in order to uncover his hideout. Marvella receives footage of Ishak's actions at the bank and realizes that Ishak is in danger, as he is now certainly one of Jack's targets. Isaac and Kai quickly flew to Colombia, heading to a secret hideout known only to the family. He kept moving from place to place to avoid being tracked by Jack and the Shadow Force. Meanwhile, Jack was summoned by representatives of the J7 nations to explain his involvement with Shadow Force. He claimed that during his tenure as CIA director, he was ordered by the president to establish a secret organization to carry out missions in countries that refused to cooperate with the United States or other J7 members. Jack requested permission to eliminate Kyrah and Ishak, whom he considered to have violated the rules by leaving the organization unilaterally, claiming it was necessary to maintain national stability. He offered a large reward to anyone who succeeded in killing them.
36? Are they alligators?
Stop.
What is this holy water dad?
Let's get something to eat, good?
At the hideout, Kai asked why a shark took off his hearing aid during the fight with the robbers. The shark explained that without sound, he becomes more sensitive to movement. In a flashback, it is revealed that Kyrah and a shark left Shadow Force because Jack, who had feelings for Kyrah, became vengeful upon discovering her relationship with a shark. The shark stated that they could no longer keep hiding, especially now that they had Kai. In a flashback, it is revealed that Kyrah and Ishak left Shadow Force because Jack, who had feelings for Kyrah, became vengeful upon discovering her relationship with Ishak. Ishak stated that they could no longer keep hiding, especially now that they had Kai. Upon arriving at the hideout, Kyrah and the shark engaged in an intense fight. It turned out to be their way of sharpening their combat skills. However, Kai woke up and saw them, prompting both of them to immediately stop the fight. Kyrah, who hadn't seen Kai in a long time, hugged him with tears in her eyes and apologized for not being able to give him her love in person. On the other side, Jack and the Shadow Force gathered to plan the hunt. Having learned Kyrah and Isaac's location from an informant, Jack offered a doubled reward to anyone who succeeded in killing them.
I was getting to that! 6 years Army intel.
Patrick and his partner Parker listened to the plan carefully, ready to assist Jack until Kyrah and a shark were captured.
Cold shot, show me what you got.
Kyrah and a shark practiced shooting in preparation for the upcoming major battle. Kyrah showed off her accuracy, while a shark teased her, reminding her of the time he deliberately shot her in the shoulder to save her from being taken hostage.
Yes, just let it go. See?
Was my shoulder to reload.
Kyrah also showed off her car, equipped with advanced technology such as carbon fiber and titanium armor, leaving a shark and Kai in awe.
I'm driving.
Yes, you are.
Meanwhile, Marvella and Avery had arrived in Colombia to meet with Kyrah and work together to capture Jack. However, Marvella felt that Avery wasn't taking things seriously, as he kept complaining.
There's supposedly another two-man tracking Cinder.
The next day, a shark, Kyrah, and Kai headed to the meeting location in Kyrah's advanced car. Kai smiled happily, finally feeling the warmth of a complete family. But suddenly, their car was hacked, and in an instant, the atmosphere turned tense and ominous. Kyrah quickly brought Kai to the back compartment protected by bulletproof shielding and tried to calm him down. "Don't worry, sweetheart. Just get some rest."
Mama, that's a bat!
An epic car chase ensued. The shark pushed the car to its limits while Kyrah unleashed a hail of bullets at their pursuers. With precision, she destroyed the chasing truck, leaving it engulfed in flames. However, the road ahead was already surrounded by enemies. The Shadow Force team launched another assault, determined not to let Kyrah and the shark escape. Kyrah was shocked to see her old comrades from Shadow Force among the attackers. With tears in her eyes, she hugged Kai tightly, realizing her child was in grave danger. The next morning, Isaac was shocked to find that Kyrah had already left. Kyrah contacted Jack and invited him to meet on a CIA-confiscated island. She threatened to expose Jack's crimes if her family continued to be targeted. Jack refused, stating that Kyrah and Isaac were now being hunted with a $100 million bounty, even more if they were killed. Despite that, Jack eventually agreed to face her directly. In Colombia, Marvella and Effery met a shark. The shark pointed a gun at him, demanding to know Kyrah's whereabouts. Effery assured him that they were allies, working together to capture Jack. Together, they devised a plan to find Kyrah.
Music.
One song.
Can you play something else?
On the CIA's seized island, Kyrah confronted Jack. Jack revealed his heartbreak over Kyrah choosing a shark. Kyrah tried to approach him, and suddenly...
Come back to me.
Now, come on, let's go!
However, Jack, wearing a bulletproof vest, was unharmed by her attack. Kyrah regretted being careless and not aiming for Jack's head.
This is gonna be fun to watch.
Reluctantly, she accepted Jack's challenge to fight 2 Shadow Force members. If she won, she'd be free. With all her strength, Kyrah fought, but in the end, she was defeated. Meanwhile, a shark was attacked. A member of the Shadow Force was injured. Unable to fight back, he was captured. In front of Jack, Kyrah and the shark reunited. Kyrah apologized for acting on her own. They panicked upon learning that Kai had also been captured and was going to be imprisoned. Suddenly, it was revealed that Effery was a traitor, tempted by Jack's enormous reward. Marvella was furious and swore to take Effery down for betraying the family. Jack, obsessed with covering up his crimes and fueled by his heartbreak over Kyrah, orchestrated everything to destroy them.
For what, Avery? Fucking money?
And I know that sounds harsh, immoral, and dead wrong, but let me just...
In an instant, the situation turned around. Patrick and Parker raised their weapons, aiming them at Jack. They revealed a shocking secret. They were undercover CIA agents working with Marvella to trap Jack for his crimes and illegal activities.
Against you for months, sir.
What the hell are you doing? There's no need for this.
We'll comply with our demands.
Tension peaked as Parker fired a shot, taking down a member of the Shadow Force. Isaac, Kyrah, and Marvella couldn't hide their small laughs. Jack was now powerless. With authority, Patrick ordered Jack and his men to kneel. But suddenly, Jack's men launched a surprise attack. However, the shark and Kyrah didn't stand still. With fierce determination, they fought back against the Shadow Force members, triggering an inevitable shootout. Severely wounded by a bullet, Jack grabbed a weapon and desperately tried to fight off those attempting to capture him.
Parker! Where's the kid?
Kid in the back.
A hail of bullets shook the battlefield, leaving many casualties behind. With extraordinary teamwork, the shark and Kyrah managed to take down several members of the Shadow Force. Amid the chaos, the shark told Kyrah, "Find Kai. Make sure he's safe."
Run, motherfucker.
On the other side, Effery, who was trying to escape, was intercepted by Kai, who suddenly emerged from hiding. But then, Marvella appeared, her fury blazing. Without mercy, she strangled and beat Effery, punishing her for her betrayal. In another corner, Kyrah was locked in an intense duel with a member of the Shadow Force. With his skills, he fought fiercely until he finally threw a knife that struck the enemy's neck, ending the resistance. Meanwhile, a shark hunted down the remaining members of the Shadow Force, determined to end it all. With sharp eyes, he watched every movement closely. At last, a shark reunited with Kyrah, Kai, and Marvella. Together, they devised a plan to take Jake down. With unwavering resolve, a shark said, "I want my family to live in peace, free from fear." Kyrah entrusted Kai to Marvella and prepared to hunt Jake. Soon after, Isaac and Kyrah boarded a boat, chasing after Jack in a thrilling pursuit. Jack and his remaining men rained bullets on him, overwhelming Isaac and Kyrah. Tension peaked as their ships collided in an epic naval duel. Quickly, Isaac and Kyrah split up to take down the last two enemies. They each had only one bullet. Missing was not an option. Before parting ways, Isaac said, "Don't give up, Kyrah." Isaac immediately pursued the remaining members of the Shadow Force. Despite his exhaustion and being unarmed, he removed his hearing aid and relied on his sharp instinct. With swift movements, he took down the enemy. At the same time, Jack, weakened from blood loss, hid at the wedding venue, waiting for Kyrah. He was in awe of Kyrah's unwavering strength and determination. Without wasting any time, they got into a fierce fight. In the silence caused by removing his hearing aid, Isaac searched for Kyrah. He was shocked to find her held hostage at gunpoint. Remembering the past, when he shot Kyrah's arm to save her, Isaac prepared to take his final move. Through a struggle filled with blood and tears, Isaac and Kyrah finally succeeded in eliminating all members of the Shadow Force, including Jack. Sometime later, Isaac and Kyrah became a complete family, able to give Kai all the love and care he needed. With all his heart, Isaac vowed to do whatever it takes to protect Kyrah and Kai. Suddenly, Marvella contacted Kyrah, inviting her to join Shadow Force 2.0, a new organization, completely different from Jack's dark legacy. And with that, the film comes to an end. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments below. Warm regards, Iskar friends.